Hi guys, today I want to talk to you about another Terry Pratchett novel. It's called The We Free Men, and this is one of my favorite novels from the Discworld. The Discworld series is made up of a whole bunch of different smaller series. There's the Commander Vimes and the City Watch series. There's the Death series, which is all about the character Death, not people dying necessarily. And then there's the Wizards of Unseen University, and one of my favorites is the Tiffany Aching series. So she is a witch in training. She's armed with only a frying pan, and she's a witch to be, so she's learning. She is very special because she sees the world in a way that most other people don't, especially the people around her. She sees the little magical things that adults don't see, and I think that that's one of the things that is really intriguing about this novel. Again, it's got Terry Pratchett's sense of humor, which is very sarcastic now and then, so if you're not into sarcasm, this isn't a very good book for you. But it's also a common sense book, so if you're somebody who kind of gets frustrated with how people can be sometimes when they're very obstinate, this is a great book for you to read because Tiffany Aching sees right through other people, and it's great to see. So the thing with this book is that, and this is, I think, the first in the series, the thing that happens that's the catalyst to the rising action is Tiffany Aching's little brother is kidnapped. And so Tiffany Aching wants to get him back, but she's also meeting people along the way who are going to further her training as a witch. So I want to just read a small portion of it. This is from chapter 3 called Hunt the Hag, and hag is another word for witch. Miss Tick removed her hat, reached inside, and pulled a piece of string. With little clicks and flapping noises, the hat took up the shape of a rather elderly straw hat. She picked up the paper flowers from the ground and stuck them on, carefully. Then she said, "Phew! You can't just let the kid go like that," said the toad, who was sitting on the table. "Like what?" "She's clearly got first sight and second thoughts. That's a powerful combination." "She's a little know-it-all," said Miss Tick. "Right, just like you. She impressed you, right? I know she did because you were quite nasty to her, and you always do that to people who impress you." "Do you want to be turned into a frog?" "Well, now, let me see," said the toad sarcastically. "Better skin, better legs, likelihood of being kissed by a princess, or 100% improved? Why, yes, whenever you're ready, madam." "There's worse things than being a toad," said Miss Tick darkly. "Try it sometime," said the toad. "Anyway, I rather liked her." "So did I," said Miss Tick briskly. "She hears about an old lady dying because these idiots thought she was a witch, and she decides to become a witch so that they don't try that again. A monster roars up out of her roars up out of her river, and she bashes it with a frying pan. Have you ever heard the saying, 'The land finds its witch'? It's happened here, I'll bet. But a chalk witch? Witches like granite and basalt, hard rock all the way down. Do you know what chalk is?" "You're going to tell me," said the toad. "It's the shells of billions and billions of tiny, helpless little sea creatures that died millions of years ago," said Miss Tick. "It's tiny, tiny bones. Soft, soggy, damp. Even limestone is better than that. But she's grown up on chalk, and she is hard and sharp, too. She's a born witch, on chalk, which is impossible." "She bashed Jenny," said the toad. "That girl has got talent." "Maybe she needs more than that. Jenny isn't clever," said Miss Tick. "She's only a grade 1 prohibitory monster, and she was probably bewildered to find herself in a stream when her natural home is in stagnant water. There'll be much, much worse than her." "What do you mean, a grade 1 prohibitory monster?" asked the toad. "I've never heard her called that." "I am a teacher as well as a witch," said Miss Tick, adjusting her hat carefully. "Therefore I make lists, I make assessments, I write things down in neat, firm hand with pens of 2 colors. Jenny is one of a number of creatures invented by adults to scare children away from dangerous places." She sighed. "If only people would think before they make up monsters." "You ought to stay and help her," said the toad. "I've got practically no power here," said Miss Tick. "I told you, it's the chalk. And remember the red-headed men. A Nakmekfeagle spoke to her, warned her. I've never seen one in my life. If she's got them on her side, who knows what she can do?" She picked up the toad. Do you know what'll be turning up? She continued. All the things they locked away in those old stories, all those reasons why you shouldn't stray off the path or open the forbidden door or say the wrong word or spill the salt. All the stories that gave children nightmares, all the monsters from under the biggest bed in the world, somewhere, all stories are real and all dreams come true, and they'll come true here if they're not stopped. If it wasn't for that Knack McFeagle, I'd be really worried. As it is, I'm going to try and get some help. That's going to take me at least 2 days without a broomstick. It's unfair to leave her alone with them, said the toad. She won't be alone, said Mystic. She'll have you. Oh, said the toad. All right, so hopefully you got a little bit of a feel on how this story plays out. It's a really fun narrative. It's not super descriptive, so you don't have to worry about getting caught up in long descriptions of what trees look like around the water or anything like that. But there's monsters, there's fairyland, there's a witch, and I've got a baby crying in the background. So, signing off, again, this is Terry Pratchett, The Wee Free Men.